Here we'd like to talk about a problem that's quite common, and it's about shrugging the shoulders on the ergo at the finish.
To hold my shoulders down at the finish of the stroke on an ergo, I think about holding my elbows out slightly. I also allow the handle to come through to the finish from the speed that has been generated from the leg drive and the body opening. By doing this and not accelerating the handle around the finish, I feel as though my shoulders come through flatter and not up around my ears, shrugging around the back end of the stroke.
As you can see here, in this particular photo, Ciona is demonstrating how to put a shrug into the shoulders at the finish. It's essentially tensing up the shoulders, lifting them up, and then drawing the elbow through to a high level and then dropping the elbows. It ends up involving a lot of small muscles in the body and then causes particular issues of fatigue and also a less powerful finish. Here Ciona demonstrates how to finish correctly, with the elbows back, shoulders back, and letting the handle come right the way through to the chest. Here's Joel during his world record marathon on the RP3. Nice relaxed shoulders at the finish. Very important to be relaxed at the finish. So here with Ciona with the shrug, you can see the handles up high, the shoulders are up high, the elbows are close to the body, and then as she pulls the handle through, you can see her body moves towards the handle at that point. As an alternate, undertaking the stroke correctly, you can see here that as she finishes the stroke off, the shoulders are still and the handle is pulled into the body rather than having the body move towards the handle. Very important distinction, much more powerful finish. Here you can see the shrug. You see it's a weaker movement. The handle gets pulled up high, and then you can see the shoulders up high, and then they drop down at the finish. Not a very powerful finish. If we look at it again, let's watch what the elbows are doing. See, the elbows end up high to start with, and then they drop down a long way towards the finish. So here we have Ciona from a front view. Watch what happens to the shoulders as we pull through to the finish, rowing with the shrug. The shoulders come up and then they drop down at the finish. If you watch what happens to the elbows, you can see the elbows start going out but up, and then as the shoulders are up, but then as the stroke gets completed, you can see they drop right in close to the body. Not a strong finish at all. So here we have Ciona demonstrating a powerful finish. And you can see here it's done by making sure the shoulders aren't lifted up, the elbows are out a bit further, makes it easier, and you find you get a much more powerful finish this way. You can see here that the shoulders are not up. As the shoulders are held back, the handle comes through to the finish and there's no shoulder shrug there at all. Just a clean finish. If we watch, you can see here how the body does not move towards the handle at the finish. The shoulders remain stationary and the handle is pulled into the body. Here you can see what happens to the elbow, just like in the previous example, but without the shrug, the elbow doesn't have a need to drop anywhere near as much, and it's held right the way through until just at the finish there. So I'd suggest watch your athletes carefully. If you're an athlete training yourself, watch in the mirror, and when you see the shoulder shrug, which is very easily seen from the front on, then work on it by putting your elbows out, holding your shoulders down, and holding your shoulders in a stationary position as the arms finish off.